You've heard of scientists trying to reach the edges of space, right? But what about scientists who are trying to reach something else? Something beyond our reality? We're talking about experiments that blend high-tech gadgets with the paranormal, and some of them may have opened doors no one ever should have touched. What happens when technology tries to push into the unknown? Technology and the paranormal. Two worlds that seem like they could never collide. Yet for some reason, scientists have been trying to make them work together. From ghost hunting gadgets that track spirits, to experiments that attempt to communicate with the dead, these are not your average science projects. What we'll dive into today are experiments that push the boundaries of both science and the supernatural. And in some cases, those experiments might have unlocked something far darker than anyone could have expected. The Philip experiment. Creating a ghost from imagination. One of the most fascinating experiments blending technology and the paranormal happened in 1972 in Toronto, Canada, and it's known as the Philip experiment. A group of parapsychologists set out to test whether they could create a ghost purely by using imagination. They invented a character named Philip, a 17th century nobleman with a tragic backstory. They designed a life for him, giving him a name, a personality, and even a history. He was a man who'd been in love with a woman named Dorothea, but was murdered by a jealous rival. Once they'd created this fictional ghost, the group turned to a Ouija board to try to communicate with him. They gathered regularly to contact Philip, using the Ouija board to ask him questions. What happened next was shocking. The group claimed that the planchette on the board began moving by itself, spelling out answers that seemed far too accurate and specific to be dismissed as random. This went on for weeks, with the group reporting that they were making contact with a spirit they had created. But was this paranormal communication? Or did the power of suggestion and the group's collective focus create the illusion of a ghost? Could our minds be capable of summoning spirits? Or was it simply an elaborate exercise in imagination? Ghost hunting gadgets, the tech behind tracking spirits. As technology advanced, so did the tools used to investigate the supernatural. Today, EMF meters, electromagnetic field meters, are a staple in paranormal investigations. These gadgets detect fluctuations in electromagnetic fields, which are often associated with ghostly activity. The idea is that spirits may emit energy, creating shifts in the electromagnetic field that these devices can measure. While some ghost hunters swear by them, skeptics argue that EMF meters simply pick up signals from electronics, power lines, or other natural sources, leading to false positives. Alongside EMF meters, infrared thermometers have become standard tools. Ghost hunters often use them to measure sudden drops in temperature, which are commonly associated with the presence of spirits. It's believed that spirits absorb heat from the environment, creating a noticeable cold spot in the air. The problem here is that temperature changes can easily be explained by drafts, air conditioning, or other natural causes. Still, many ghost hunters point to these temperature shifts as signs of paranormal activity. Perhaps one of the most intriguing devices is the spirit box, a tool that scans radio frequencies rapidly, hoping to catch voices from spirits communicating through static. Some claim to have heard clear responses to their questions, while others argue that these ghost voices are simply bits of random noise or interference from radio stations. But the key question remains: are these ghost hunting gadgets really helping us detect spirits? Or are we just misinterpreting the data? EVPs, voices from the dead? Another tool used in the quest to understand the paranormal is the EVP recorder, electronic voice phenomena. These devices are designed to capture sounds that the human ear can't hear, hoping to record voices from spirits. Over the years, many ghost hunters have claimed to hear voices in their recordings, sometimes entire conversations, sometimes just one word or phrase. One famous EVP occurred at the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, where a ghost hunter reportedly recorded a voice saying, "Hello," in response to a question, even though no one was near the recorder. But skeptics argue that these voices are nothing more than static, interference, or random sounds that get interpreted as meaningful, because our brains are wired to find patterns. Could the seemingly ghostly voices captured on these recorders actually be a result of natural or technological factors, rather than a communication from the other side? The Stanley Hotel, a haunting with a scientific twist. Let's move on to one of the most famous paranormal locations in America, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, which famously inspired Stephen King's The Shining. In the early 2000s, a team of researchers from the University of Colorado used a combination of high-tech equipment to investigate Room 611, which had a reputation for being one of the most haunted places in the hotel. They brought in thermal cameras, motion sensors, and electromagnetic field detectors, hoping to catch some tangible proof of the paranormal activity reported by guests. What they discovered was a bit eerie. The temperatures in the room fluctuated dramatically, and the motion sensors detected strange movements that couldn't be easily explained. Some of the researchers even reported experiencing physical discomfort and a sense of unease. However, none of this could be definitively attributed to ghosts. It's possible that electromagnetic fields or environmental factors could be affecting people's perceptions. Could it be that the technology was simply revealing something natural? Or was the Stanley Hotel actually harboring paranormal activity that technology couldn't explain? Hesdin Lights, a mystery in the skies. Finally, we come to one of the most baffling and unexplained phenomena, the Hesdin Lights. These mysterious lights have been spotted in the Hesdin Valley of Norway for decades. The lights appear at random, often floating in the sky in shapes and colors that defy explanation. Some witnesses claim the lights behave in ways that break the laws of physics, making sharp turns or disappearing in the blink of an eye. What makes this phenomenon even more perplexing is the scientific efforts to explain it. Over the years, researchers have set up cameras, infrared sensors, and radar systems in an attempt to study the lights, but no one has been able to figure out what causes them. Despite years of monitoring, the lights continue to appear without a clear explanation. Some theorists suggest that the lights could be linked to electromagnetic fields, geological activity, or even atmospheric conditions that are still not fully understood. But here's where it gets even stranger. Some researchers believe the lights are somehow interacting with the technology designed to capture them. Could the lights be manipulating the sensors, or creating an electromagnetic field that affects the equipment? Is there something out there that's beyond our current understanding of science? From ghost hunting gadgets to experiments that try to communicate with the dead, there's no shortage of attempts to blend technology with the paranormal. Some of these experiments have left us with more questions than answers. Do we really know what's out there? Are we simply seeing things that our minds can't explain? Or have we pushed too far into territories where technology is no longer our ally, but our potential downfall? The lines between the known and the unknown are growing blurrier. And the only thing that's certain is that the search for answers has only just begun. Technology and the paranormal still leave us with more questions than answers. Are we really uncovering spirits? Or is it all just our minds playing tricks? The mystery continues. Don't forget to subscribe for more.